Hey VC, how's it going? So, as you can probably tell by my voice, I have been a little under the weather. So, pardon my lack of energy here, trying to get over a cold. But I did want to jump in on a contest for Sam St. John. He is doing a push to 300 subs. I think by the time this contest is over, he's going to be at 500 subs, and he definitely should be. Sam, I think, is one of the most beloved new members of the vinyl community. You see him on everybody's channel. He is such a great and generous, um, just a warm and friendly guy. Not only is he a great YouTuber, but he also is a great singer, songwriter. I think he's an actor, an electrician, a magician. I think he also does a gig as a clown at children's birthday parties. He's an astronaut. He's been up in space. But Sam is just a fantastic guy. And if you haven't yet checked out Sam St. John, please go over and give his channel a sub. Definitely you will be happy you did. He's done some collaboration videos recently with Rich Strickler where they're going through and ranking every single Beatles albums, all the songs on each album. They're all the way up to, I think Sgt. Pepper now was the last one that I watched. But it's just a really great, entertaining video to watch. And Sam is very, very knowledgeable. We've had him on this channel before on one of our Thursday night videos. So please make sure you go and check him out. So Sam wants us to show, it's called the Now Playing, I think is the name of the contest, but he wants us to show the last 5 albums that we've listened to. So I've got some picked out here. The first one, this is a CD that it's just kind of sat on my shelf, and just recently I saw it sitting there, and I'm just kind of like, hey, little buddy, hey, let's pull you off the shelf and give you a listen. And this was Def Leppard Pyromania, just a great album. I forgot. I mean, this was one of the first albums that was in heavy rotation on MTV back when I was a wee lad, starting with Photograph, but you also had Foolin', Rock of Ages. Kind of one of the sleeper tracks on here is Too Late for Love. Just a great album. I forgot how great this album was. Gave it a little listen through, took it off the shelf, dusted it off, gave it some TLC, but definitely fantastic album. I'm not a huge Def Leppard fan, but I do like their early stuff up through, I think, Hysteria, and then kind of after that, that's kind of really lost me. Next album, this is a band, and I think they only had 2 albums, but this is EHIO, and this is their record, Land of Opportunity. This was their first record that they released. Kind of a mixture of, it sounds like early Beatles, circa Beatles for Sale, where you kind of had very heavy on the Carl Perkins influence, kind of like rockabilly, but they've got Beatles harmonies on here. It's definitely like country rock, but more in the style of like early REM with kind of the jangly pop. But this is a really great, great album, lost album from the 1980s. Very hard to find. I was actually shocked I stumbled across this, but 5-piece band. And This Time, if you're able to check it out on Spotify, This Time would be the track to listen to. That reminds me the most of the Beatles, something the Beatles would have put out back in late 1964, but just a very cool album. I am a huge Steely Dan fan and also Donald Fagen fan, obviously, and was very happy to see that they put out, or Donald Fagen put out this recently. This is the Nightfly Live, which the Nightfly was his first solo album. I think it came out in 82 or 83 maybe. I can't exactly remember. I think it's 82, but one of my favorite. It's actually kind of a lost Steely Dan album, actually, because it sounds a lot like Steely Dan, sort of the follow-up to Gaucho. But these songs are great live. The entire album all the way through on here. Some of my favorite Donald Fagen stuff is on here. I love New Frontier. There was a video for that on MTV back in the day. IGY, of course. which I think stands for International Geophysical Year, which back in the early 80s, I think was some kind of scientific, or no, it was actually in the 50s, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it was in the 19, this was all about him growing up, I guess. So it's the first in what was kind of a trilogy of albums. You had Kamakiriad after this, and then the third one was Morph the Cat. But it's sort of a, kind of a reflection on his childhood. And International Geophysical Year, I think, was in like the late 50s or something like that. And I don't remember exactly the whole thing surrounding it. But anyway, that's what it stands for, if you're wondering. Green Flower Street, a great track. They do a cover of the Lieber Stoller classic Ruby Baby on here. Walk Between the Raindrops. And this is live at the Orpheum Theater, 4 tracks, and then the Beacon Theater. But just really great. If you love this album, if you love Steely Dan, if you love Donald Fagen, definitely check that one out. Been spinning some CSNY. This is their album Deja Vu, the follow-up to their very successful classic masterpiece, Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Brought Neil Young on board, and just got some great stuff on here. I mean, from the opening track, Carry On, which was a classic rock staple, Teach Your Children, which is, of course, almost like a therapy session, sort of advice given to parents and their children so they don't grow up to be juveniles and lead a life of crime and disrespectful. So it's sort of like, teach your children so they don't grow up to be assholes is kind of the whole theme behind it. But, Deja Vu, the title track, is great as well. And I think I almost cut my hair is on here too. But, anyway, I think on the follow-up album, they did a version of Almost Shaved My Mustache. So they're very much into the anti-grooming, big on facial hair thing going on in the early 70s as it was. But great album. On Record Store Day, they had the alternate mixes release of this. And, I mean, this is obviously a classic, but if you're interested in hearing it a little bit of a different way, check out the RSD release if you can get your hands on one. And I love the texture of this cover. It's almost like a football. I don't know, if you got a copy of the album, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm not making sense. It's all the cold medication, probably. And then last one I want to show, this is the debut from CCR Creek, the Clearwater Revival. Kind of a little bit more bluesy and psychedelic than the stuff from 69 and 70 when they were all over the charts and hitting big with every single that they put out. This one's got I Put a Spell on You, which Nina Simone made famous. Susie Q, which is a great extended workout. In fact, Susie Q is on the Rolling Stones debut album as well. A little hard to read these liner notes on the back of here. I don't know why they kind of juxtapose this very light, bright cover and then tried to put white text over it. It's real difficult to read, but I don't know, maybe that was the whole point. So anyway, make sure you check out Sam. I know I got a couple other contests to catch up on. A lot of people are doing contests, so I will hopefully be back with another one relatively soon. But everybody take care.